Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Uh, we are here tonight. We're going to talk about our family support meeting. Tonight, we got a very interesting topic that we want to share from the recoveryvillage.com. This topic. The topic, I would say I pulled it out, but I didn't pick it, but it's a very good topic dealing with family members. Yeah. Yep.
And it's a good thing. Again, man, good evening. My name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. and one of your recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center. And we're going to have one of the great lessons that we're going to be having is dealing with family, which is one of the things that you always want to pay attention to because it's a very big, it's very important that the family dynamic that's associated with addiction. And a lot of times people don't understand that the person struggling with a substance or alcohol or whatever, they have their own personal path that they have to take. But the family members has a particular thing that they need to do as well. So we're going to give you a few different tips and things that you can look over. And if anybody out there who have any type of family related issues and you would like to come and share your experience dealing with someone that's struggling with a substance, we would love for you to contact us. Come on in and we'll be able to discuss anything about something dealing with the substance issue. And of course, I'll put the number on the screen for y'all so y'all can be able to call in anytime y'all like.
And also, my name is Craig. I'm just not just but I am a certified peer recovery specialist. I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist. And so basically, I'm a peer support. I help people navigate to certain agencies or to connect them to agencies that can assist with substance abuse disorders, mental health, employment, et cetera, et cetera.
All right. So we're going to go. It's very important that we make this appeal to you. If you have the numbers on the screen, I'll put it on the lower third for y'all so y'all can actually call in sometime tomorrow. We're here tonight till 7. However, if you have any type of stories or how you have been dealing with your loved one that was struggling with a substance use disorder, just give us a call so we can talk about possibly you coming and sharing your personal experience with that individual loved one. All right? All right. With that said, our topic is tips to help family members. Tips to help family members of people struggling with an addiction. All right, so that's our topic, and we're gonna go from there. All right, go ahead, Craig.
All right, and so as I stated before, this article is brought to you by the recoveryvillage.com. All right, and so the article makes mention that says addiction affects everyone, not just the person struggling with substance misuse.
Wait a minute. So the person that's struggling with the substance issue and somebody else?
The family as well.
Oh, man. So hold on. So it affects not only the person that's struggling, but the whole family, because sometimes the person that's struggling thinks that it's their problem. And then sometimes the family member be like, that's your problem, not mine.
Right.
But
isolate.
It's not true.
It's not good to isolate people who struggle with addiction.
That's right.
Support, love, encouragement is always welcome.
That's right.
All right. And so it says, here are 10 tips that can help family members cope with a loved one's addiction. Right? And so the article goes on. It says, if you're a family member of someone struggling with addiction, you may have many questions and concerns, such as how to deal with addiction, how to support your loved one, finding support groups for families of individuals who live with addiction.
Mm.
All right?
Finding support. Trying to find support.
Right. So, article at a glance. All right. And so it says millions of people struggling with substance misuse and addiction. You can help a family member cope with addiction by understanding the condition and going to family therapy.
Put over pause and park right there, big guy. It says you can help a family member. These are principles. While we're reading principles and things, you're gonna have to grab these particular nuts. It says you can help family members cope with their addiction. Watch this, by understanding the condition. So a lot of times you have to understand, you need to educate with the family member who's not struggling, have to get some type of education about what the person that's struggling is dealing with. It's not because I remember my wife when I was actively using, and my wife always made the statement that I will come home from treatment and nobody actually helped her deal with what she was dealing with. So when I came home and I was clean, now she will offload all the things that I did when I was actively using. But she never had anybody teach her that that doesn't help the situation by you bringing up what he has done when he was actively using. But she had to learn that. She had to educate herself, like it says. She had to understand the condition. She had to do that. And that's it might seem like, well, why I gotta study about
I'm not
why I gotta go to school to learn about what they doing, you know? But realistically, the more you're educated on it, the better you put the family dynamic in a good situation. So it says you can help a family member cope with the addiction by understanding the condition and going to family therapy. Going to family therapy.
The next one talks about connect with peers through trusted programs to support a loved one with an addiction. Next one, preparing family meals and encouraging a regular sleep schedule can help an addict in your life. All right. And it says help is available for members of addiction
at Capital Recovery Center.
Absolutely.
So anybody that need help, again, we told y'all, or if I didn't, if you just tuning in or you watch this video later, this number that's on the screen on the lower third, you can call us at the office if you are a family member that's attached to obviously someone who's struggling with addiction. If you call us here, 856-391-7449 or 1-800-236-2448. One of the coaches will try to connect you to different resources if we can't provide for those services at that time. All right. So where we at, buddy? Let's go.
All right. So we're at the 10 tips for family members dealing with an addict.
All right.
All right. So
let's see. Addiction can help. I'll start here, and then we take one on one.
All right.
It says addiction can happen to anyone, even in loving families. When an addiction develops, family members and friends are also often directly impacted by the addiction. That's why, in addition to taking steps to help get your loved one into the treatment facility, it's important for the family members and friends to have a good understanding of the addiction while also continuing to take care of their own health. This is so important. I mean, I know we ain't gonna get through this whole thing because every time I read something, this is important. To continue to take care of your own health. My wife also, I'm giving you some real life application. My wife said she was walking in supermarket. She just brought this back up yesterday, a couple of days ago. She says, when I was actively using, I was running out to the streets. And she said she was in ShopRite, or I don't know the store, but maybe ShopRite. And she was buying all the things that I like to eat. And she said she looked on the belt and she realized all the things that she was about to buy was for me, and I wasn't even home. And she says she totally lost who she was. Wow. So she said she totally lost taking care of herself, her own self, right, because she was so focused on the person, me, who had the particular addiction. And it says right here, It's important for family members and friends to have a good understanding of addiction while also continuing to take care of their own health. A lot of family members have been consumed about helping their loved one that's struggling, and they lose track of taking care of their own health.
Wow. Transferring the energy.
Yeah,
Wow.
transferring the energy.
Uh-huh.
All right, that's right.
Who that? Carl.
Yeah.
Carl Smith.
Carl Smith, he's live.
All right, Carl.
All right. So look, so like we were just saying, the person or the loved one don't lose track of taking care of yourself, even though you're trying to support individuals, your family or your loved one. So let me read it. I'm gonna go back. It says, in addition to taking steps to help get your loved one into a treatment program. So that's one step. You helping them get into a program, right? Now it says, don't continue to not take care of yourself. So you got, I'm helping my loved one get into treatment, but you can't lose focus on taking care of your own health, because if you're not careful, you'll be up all night trying to help the loved one when really your health is deteriorating and you're not even using any substances. So you gotta be paying attention to that as family members, loved ones, spouses, sisters, brothers, husbands. I don't care what dynamic you play or what role you are in. You gotta be careful to that.
Yeah.
All right.
And the next sentence basically sums it up.
Yeah.
It says, this helps you provide the love and support the addicted person needs in order to heal. You know, it also goes a long way. It says, if you're not healthy, then you're really no help to no one else.
Yes.
So always take care of yourself as well and the addicted person. Number one, learn as much as possible about addiction.
We talked about that. Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. And that's the first word.
Yeah.
And it says education can help families escape the blame game. That's right. Rather than believing that the person addiction stems from weakness, willfulness, or stubbornness, it might be helpful to understand how it actually stems from changes within the brain. All right. And it says understanding that addiction is not a choice might help you let go of anger and resentment you may be feeling about your loved one's addiction. Yeah, once you educate yourself, you'll know that some things are learned, but some of these things are something that it came a culture. Me and Craig was talking about something about a culture. If I'm hanging around a bunch of people who is doing this particular thing, the chances are very high that I do it, right? So that's my culture. That's the surrounding area that I have been around. If I'm hanging around people that are all not athletes, but they all doing some type of sport, I'm gonna try some type of sport, because all of those people around me are doing the exact same thing. So it'll help you understand or not be angry at them or resent them, or like it says you might be angry, resentment, you have terrible feelings about your loved one's addiction. You might have all these feelings going on and everything, but remember, it started off, it says education. You got to educate yourself on the addiction concept of what the person is actually going through. At least educate yourself. I'm not saying educate yourself where you have to become a drug or certified counselor and all that, but you can get the basic education of what they possibly might be going through, because each individual functions different. Yeah. And it's a difference from looking on the outside as opposed to looking from within. You can be able to communicate and be able to empathize much better.
Empathize, a good word.
Empathize, right? All right, so there are many online resources that can help families learn about addiction. Most bookstores also offer a wide selection of books about the chemistry of addiction and the science behind addiction treatment. Additionally, And additionally, everyday research teams are conducting in-depth studies about drugs. They are learning more about how substances interact with the cells inside the brain, and they are using that knowledge to develop new treatments that might one day either treat or prevent addictions.
And you can also switch addiction.
Oh,
A lot of times when you see a person and they come out of one thing, they'll get that addictive behavior or go into right into something else. And it might not be a substance. It could be all types of food, sex, money, all that stuff can take the place of I've seen that happen a lot. And you gotta be actually I picked up another addiction after I got off the drugs, and then I realized that I was in bondage to it, but that's a whole nother story. But I had realized how I had switched it. I switched it from one thing to the next. I said, oh shoot, I felt the same thrill and I felt the same low when I didn't have it. I said, man, this is very familiar. And that was because you can switch particular things.
And also behaviors. We have to be also focused on different behaviors, because a lot of times I learned this when I was in therapeutic, and I had to take notice of myself when I was in treatment and when I came home, is that anger management, that's one aspect.
Yeah.
You know, you can focus so much on one area of addiction when there's maybe a host of emotions and behaviors that's attached to the addiction as well.
The behaviors. Going to body drugs is a behavior.
Yeah.
Like it was something about going and get it, and yeah, I could have somebody bring it to me, but the thrill of going and purchasing and all that was a whole nother monster. All right, we on two.
Yeah.
Number 2, it says connect with understanding peers. It's not always easy to live with or support someone who has an addiction. As research points out, addiction is a close relative, and a close relative can serve as a stressful life situation that persists for years. And that long-term dysfunction can make it hard for families to communicate clearly. There can be a block of mistrust between every member of the family touched by the addiction. That's so true. Connection with peers can help, particularly if families use a well-established, trusted program like Al-Anon or Alateen. The goal of these programs is to provide help for families of those living with addiction. They also provide a safe, non-judgmental space where family members can learn, discuss, and cope with an addiction unfolding in their midst. People go to meetings like this for all sorts of reasons, but one survey found that many participants were drawn to meetings in hopes of finding help with 1, finding a better quality of life, having fewer problems with the addicted person, lowering levels of stress, and improving psychological health. So these meetings, these Al-Anon meetings and other family support meetings, this is a family meeting, and I'm gonna put a link in there for you to be able to go to a particular website where you can search and find all types of resources. I'm gonna make sure you have that. I'm gonna make sure you get that to you, all right?
All right. And so while he's doing that, I'm gonna read a little bit. And so it says within the same token, it says, these are lofty goals where meeting really can help. By going to a meeting and listening to other family members, feelings of isolation and doubt may begin to fade. Families may also get the skills they need to better handle the interpersonal problems they're facing. These meetings can help families learn how to deal with their loved one's addiction. And so that's so important. A lot of times when we go to these meetings or when we have support group meetings, you'd be amazed at how much similarity people have with one another. When I say similarity, there's no two story alike or the same. Yeah. And so it's always something that one can grab and say, you know what, I didn't know that person was experiencing that. I didn't know
like me.
Yeah, I didn't know that family member went through what I went through. And so maybe there can be a relationship where you can be able to read them You can talk to another family member in that situation. That's how you begin to grow and help one another, especially when it comes to families and person dealing with addiction.
So again, I just mentioned we've talked about resources. Here's a website here. It's www.findhelp.org. If you go to that website, I will leave it up here and I'll let it stay for a while. You go to that website, I don't care what the resource that you're looking for. If you punch in with the services that you need, it will provide you with a list of different services that you can go to online or in person. So we talk about the family dynamic and having resources. This is one of the resources that you can use. All right.
Number 3, go to family therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Right?
That website, that same website, I put it up there for you. I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you today.
Right. Spouses, siblings, and parents of people with addictions often absorb many of the consequences of their loved one's substance use. Many people have a hard time talking openly about the behavior that's harming them, so they say nothing. Family members can also become distant if they're tired of fighting with their loved one. They might blame themselves when the addiction persists or blame the addicted person for their unhappiness.
Yeah, when you start blaming people or you blame yourself, it says, when you start blaming yourself, it happens a lot if a person, if someone passes and you feel like you didn't give that person enough help, you start blaming yourself like, I didn't do enough for that person. But you have to take yourself, you have to forgive yourself and understand that you did everything you possibly could in that situation. And so you don't blame yourself, even though a person has not passed. If they continue in the process of struggling with their addiction, you got to always remember that each individual is different, and prayerfully that individual will get what they need to change the direction of their lives.
So the article goes on to say these silences and blame games can hold a family back from getting help.
Woo!
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Family members may not have the tools on their own to assist someone in active recovery, and they may not have the energy to help themselves.
The energy to help themselves. This is important enough. This is all good because a lot of times trying to help the loved one has wore you out.
Yeah.
The family member will the family member will wear out. I wore my wife out before I tapped out. Like before I tried to stop using and anything. She will wear out before me. And you got to understand that remember, we're talking about, our topic is talking about like tips for to help family members of people who are struggling. So you got to understand you will tap out before they do. So remember the first thing when we were discussing about you continuing to take care of your own health. That's key. You got to remember the coping skills that you need to. I gotta take care of me. I can't believe my wife said she had all this stuff on the thing to pay for it, and I said, "What you do? You put all the stuff back when you realized you was buying it for me." She said, "Man, I left it right there and left." She's like, "Man, I ain't even buying stuff for me. I'm in here buying stuff for this person who's struggling with the drugs because she lost focus of taking care of herself."
Family therapy programs are designed to break down distrust and guilt by giving everyone a chance to feel heard. These programs can help family members understand themselves and each other and work through conflict in a healthy way. Family once defined by anger and addiction can grow into tight-knit units that are able to support one another through honest communication and healthy boundaries.
Healthy boundaries. Yeah, don't cross your own family boundaries.
Family therapy session can take time and it can be tempting to skip a session, particularly for families with a number of conflicting appointments and agendas. However, this work is vital to the mental health of everyone involved, so meetings should be attended whenever possible.
This is good. Go to family therapy session. If your loved one, listen to me. If you're watching now and you're a family member connected to somebody who's struggling with addiction, If your loved one is in some type of treatment, outpatient or inpatient treatment, ask them the next time you talk to them or whenever about attending a family therapy session. I believe that the family therapy sessions and treatment, inpatient or outpatient treatment, is one of the most vitally important things that should be a part of a person's treatment plan. The reason why the family dynamic or the family therapy sessions are important is because I go back to my own self when my wife said when I would go to treatment, nobody helped her deal with what she was dealing with from the chaos that I have ran through the house. So the family therapy sessions that your loved one might have at their disposal, meaning that that facility offer family therapy sessions. I can't see no particular facility say, no, we're not going to give you no family therapy sessions, because I believe, no, I'm more than positive that the family therapy sessions is a very vital point that you want to add in a person's treatment plan and be a part of, because you can help them on their process and when they come home. All right. Where we at? Number 4?
4.
Oh, prepare meals and eat them as a family. You know, that's old school.
That's rare. I was about to say that.
That's something we don't do no more.
Sit down, everybody at the table.
Let's see what he say. In today's modern and chaotic world, it's all too easy to eat separately. One partner grabs a burger on the way home, the other snacks on the side of their work, and the kids heat up ready-made food they can find in the freezer.
So true. Wow.
A family meals allows everyone to reconnect at the end of the day that they may have been stressful, lonely, and upsetting. Each meal helps build upon the work done in the family therapy. So number 3, we talked about go to family therapy. So when you are preparing meals with your loved one after they came home for treatment or whatever, and y'all sitting down having a meal together, now y'all can discuss things that was discussed during the family therapy, because you possibly didn't even know that they didn't like when you called them this name every time they came from treatment, right? Nice. So now you can sit down and have this dialogue, which helps the individual who has this substance use disorder, and it also helps the loved one who's supporting the person with the substance use disorder. So let's see. It says, each meal helps build upon the work done in the family therapy, and the ritual of eating together can promote a sense of common ground and togetherness. Wow. A sense of common ground and togetherness. Sister Lanzetta said, my husband always talks about the family eating meals together at the end of the day. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's a very important thing to spend that time. A lot can get discussed, and during the hectic society that we live in now, we don't take. I think I was with Craig. I remember we was out riding when we was doing Knock and Talk, and I said, when the last time somebody just sat on the bench and just did nothing? Remember we seen somebody? I think they were sitting down, and I said, just taking time, sitting in the park, and just stop it, like slow it down, because our world we live in is so chaotic. For example, research have shown, the activity doesn't have to stop at the table either. Spending time making the meal together or cleaning up afterwards can increase the benefit. Even one meal together per week can have a significant impact. Wow. So we went from going to family therapy sessions to preparing meals and eat them as a family.
As a family unit. Coping skills, learning some new coping skills, and how to relate to one another in a healthy way.
Yeah. So far, we'll recap them. We're on number 5. We'll recap it.
Okay. So we're on manage expectations.
Good.
This is real good right here. See, when a person enters addiction treatment and the family embarks on the recovery journey, the sense of hope everyone feels can be exciting. Finally, the addiction issue is being addressed. Finally, things will get better. Unfortunately, it can take a long time for the behaviors and patterns associated with addiction to really change.
Behaviors.
Behavior.
You remember
You
you
were talking about behavior.
he used that. He said that behaviors and the patterns.
Yeah.
That's that culture. That's that
There you
whole dynamic. That you got to understand. This is why educating ourselves as a family member or a loved one to someone struggling with addiction, you got to understand they have behaviors. We have behaviors and patterns. Watch this. That have been going on for 10 and 20 something years or longer.
Yeah. Come like riding a bike.
Yes, so you
Routine.
have to be understand that takes time for change. You gotta understand that. And when you educate and you get in lessons like this, and I'll put the link in the comment section for you to get this lesson. But when you educate yourself on this type of understanding as a family member of a loved one, right? You probably take stress off yourself. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, man, you went to treatment, you should be changed now.
Yeah. So your expectation is viewed in a different light.
Yeah. Manage expectation.
Man, that's right.
Your expectation is now managed.
Now
different
managed.
view. You now like, oh, okay, I know now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It may take him a little longer or her a little
Longer.
All right.
Yeah.
So it says the person may hold on to old habits or become frustrated with the recovery process. Sometimes that slow shift leads to disappointment.
Yeah.
Right? So
Get frustrated.
We want that quick fix.
We wanted to get frustrated. Remember, they didn't get to that place because the reason why you sticking by them, the individual, male or female, the reason why you sticking by them is because you're in love with the person that person was before they got into the addiction. So you got to understand that part makes you disappointed because you want that person, whoever it is, to be the person that you fell in love with previously. Now the addiction happened and you always are disappointed when they don't resort back to who you believe they should be, but you got to manage your expectations. Patience.
All right. It says a relapse can be especially disheartening. In these moments, it can be helpful to remember that relapse does not mean failure for your loved one or for you. Addiction is a chronic disease, making relapse a normal part of recovery. While steps can be taken to help prevent a relapse, recovery is a lifelong journey, ups and downs, not a single event. All right? So a lot of times, especially people who don't use drugs or never use drugs, their expectation of the person who went through treatment, went through detox, now they're back home. And now you got to really understand there is what we call short-term,
long-term,
and long-term. And so a lot of times people don't get it as that fast in the short term. It may take them a while because of their insurance, unfortunately, because of the insurance may not cover long term. And so a lot of times some people need more patience, more love, and so to help them get through the process.
And understand that the expectations that you have for the loved one, you have to manage them. And the easiest way to manage them is educate yourself on what they are going through. The education is not for you to become a certified whatever. You can be. I'm not saying you don't have you have to be. But if you educate yourself on some of the things that they might be possibly experiencing, it will actually make them feel better if you use any verbiage that they're familiar with. And they hear it come out your mouth, oh man, they be like, oh, they trying to help me here. If you mess around and use one word,
you on my side.
That I'm going through something, my wife used something, I'm like, oh, she knows. Where you learn? That means she's been looking up different things. And when you do that, it will make them feel like you are investigating what they're dealing with.
And investing.
And you're not enabling them. You're investing and you letting them know, I care about what you're struggling with. I know you have to deal with it on your own, but whatever I can possibly do to assist you, I'm willing to do.
That's good.
Yeah.
mean, you're on to something, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. All right. So where we at?
Number 5. Close it out right there. It is awesome.
It is also important to manage expectations for yourself and other family members. It takes time and effort for relationships to heal. Families in early recovery may make mistakes, and they may not be their ideal selves, but they can still enjoy their time together and actively support one another. Even if things aren't perfect, they can still be more meaningful as you work together toward a drug-free life.
Drug-free life. Well, notice, listen to me. Every last one of these things, this is the family lesson, right? Every last one of these things included the person that's struggling with the addiction and the family member.
Absolutely. Connect.
Every last one included both parties.
Both parties.
Because a lot of times both parties will try to X out the other one. This is my addiction, you don't understand. And then the other one will be like, that's your issue, I don't care nothing about that, you just need to do it right. But these 5 things that we went over, the first one was learn as much as possible about the addiction, connect with understanding peers, go to family therapy sessions, prepare meals and eat them as a family. And number 5, manage your expectations.
And remember, the blame game do not get us nowhere.
No, I don't.
Shifting the blame. Oh, it's because you did this. We got to be more understanding and apologetic.
Yeah, it's not gonna get you nowhere.
Yeah, and for those of us who either if we still using or we don't use drugs no more, taking full responsibilities for our action is so key.
Yeah.
And I believe that'll get us a long way in life, learning how to apologize and take responsibility.
Again, my name is Michael Mickey Williams Jr. I'm one of your recovery coaches here at Capital Recovery Center.
And I'm Craig. I'm also one of your recovery coaches as well.
And we'll see you Thursday at 1 o'clock with All Recovery.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. What's the name?
Lanzetta.
Lanzetta Jackson.
Thank you, Lanzetta.
Take care, everybody.
All right. Good stuff.